Welcome to Leadership Opportunities 101, where I'll let you in on the things you need to know about student leadership positions within the AAFP. Let's get started. This is the Leadership Grid. It's your ultimate cheat sheet for everything leadership. It tells you what the positions are, how many are available, whether they're elected at national conference or appointed through an application process in the fall, the length of a term, any required travel, and other things to consider. As you can see, there are a bunch of opportunities. Don't worry if you didn't catch them all, because I'm going to give you an inside look at all of them one by one. You can find the grid on the AAFP's Getting Involved website if you'd like to follow along with this presentation. Here we go! The first thing you need to know is that the best way to get involved is to show up at the National Conference of Residents and Students. It's an amazing chance to learn about family medicine through the residency programs and exhibitors in the expo hall, the clinical skills workshops, to get out and make some new friends, share ideas for your school's family medicine interest group, and of course, experience policy making and leadership at the student and resident congresses. The congresses are where we write resolutions about things we think should become AAFP policy or an AAFP action, and of course it's where we do our elections for some of the national leadership positions. And wouldn't you know it, but there's actually a student and resident involved in planning this whole big event. They're the National Conference chairs. Next, we'll take a look at the AAFP's Congress of Delegates. That's how policy gets made nationally for the organization. This body looks at resolutions from each state and the student and resident congresses and puts them to the vote, as well as elects the AAFP's national leadership, the president and the board of directors. Congress delegates come from each state, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. territories, and the special constituencies, which are women, international graduates, LGBT, new physicians, and minorities. Students and residents each get 2 reps too. While we're talking about policy, this is a good time to mention that anyone interested in political advocacy can go to the Family Medicine Congressional Conference held in D.C. in May every year. Where else do you get to learn the issues one day, then go out and meet your politicians the next day to actually advocate for the issues that matter to you? There are still more opportunities to affect AAFP policies. We have a student and resident on the board of directors of the AAFP. The Foundation is the philanthropic arm of the Academy, a 501c3 organization that supports humanitarian, educational, and scientific initiatives that improve the health of all people. And wouldn't you know, we've got a student and resident on their board of trustees too. Residents have some other opportunities, such as being the resident board member for the Association of Family Medicine Residency Directors, or they can serve on the ACGME's Review Committee for Family Medicine. If education is more your thing, then you should consider opportunities with the Society of Teachers in Family Medicine. STFM holds a bunch of conferences and provides a ton of services for family medicine educators throughout the year, and you could have a voice with them as a student or resident member on the STFM Board of Directors. If you're more of a literary person, you may want to consider a position on the editorial board of the Annals of Family Medicine, a peer-reviewed research journal specifically designed to meet the needs of primary care scientists, practitioners, policymakers, and the patients and communities they serve. You could contribute the student or resident viewpoint on research articles important to family medicine education, and maybe teach them something about social media. If you're watching this video, you've probably heard of a family medicine interest group, the medical school way of promoting family medicine. Well, did you know that all the FMIGs in the country are part of a big network with 5 regional coordinators and a national coordinator? It's the job of these talented and dedicated students to keep FMIGs connected with each other and with opportunities from the AAFP. Another option if you're interested in policy is to apply for an AAFP commission. There are 5 commissions that range from governmental advocacy, to membership, to professional development, to health of the public and science, and quality and practice. If you're not familiar with the AAFP or not sure about student leadership, both the FMIG Regional Coordinator and the commission positions are great ways to get your feet wet. And last but certainly not least, the AAFP has relationships with other non-family medicine organizations too. You could be our medical student or resident representative to the AMA, to represent family medicine in the medical student or resident sections, a resident delegate to the AMA House of Delegate, or our liaison with the SNMA. The SNMA liaison works closely with the regional coordinators and the FMIG network to promote FMIG-SNMA collaboration nationwide. So that was our whirlwind tour through leadership opportunities with the AAFP. Always remember to check the leadership grid and feel free to contact any of the current student or resident leaders if you have questions about getting involved. They can tell you more about their experiences. See you next time!